Hello and welcome back. This is another seventh grade math video, and this time we're going to be focusing on how to multiply and divide integers. Okay, here is our first example. We're going to take -2 and we're going to multiply it by 6. I actually like multiplying and dividing integers more than adding and subtracting them because I feel like the rules are a little simpler and more straightforward. So let's talk about what those rules are for multiplying and dividing integers. Those are if that we have the same sign, like both numbers are the same sign, you're going to have a positive answer. If you have different signs, like if each number is a different sign, one's positive, one's negative, you're going to have a negative answer. And that is it. The same would be for dividing as well. So same sign, positive answer, different sign, negative answer. So in this one, we have -2 times 6, which means we have different signs. So we already know that that's going to be a negative answer. Then all that's left for us to do is to multiply 2 times 6, which is 12. So our final answer here is -12. Okay, here is the next one. Again, we're using the same rules. -1 times -8. So we have the same sign. Both of those are negative. So our answer is actually going to be positive. I know it doesn't feel right having two negatives equal positive, but that is the truth. That's how it's going to end up. So since we know that's going to be positive, we can go ahead and put a positive sign if we want, or we can just leave it blank. Totally up to you. Then all we have to do is 1 times 8, which is 8. So your final answer would be positive 8 or just 8. The same would be for division. So if we were taking -8 and dividing it by -1, we would also have a positive answer there since they're both negative. And then 8 divided by 1 is 8. So that's how we multiply and divide integers. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to take -8 and multiply it by -7. Those both have the same sign, even though they're both negative. So our answer is going to be positive. So that means I can either put a plus here or I can just leave it blank. That's totally fine. 8 times 7 is 56. So our answer would be positive 56 or just 56. Now, if I was doing, let's see, -56 divided by 8, then I would end up with -7 because I'd have different signs. I'd have a positive and a negative. So I would determine that, oh, this is a negative answer. And then all I'd have to do is take 56 and divide it by 8. Okay, here's our next one. We're going to take 14 and multiply it by -16. So I want to do this. This one's a little bit bigger. I want to do this in 2 steps. My first step is going to be determining whether that's a positive or a negative answer. Since they have different signs, we know that this is going to be a negative answer. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that there. Then all I have to do is 14 times 16, which is 224. And you can do that any way that you like. You can do it standard algorithm, partial product, area model, however you like to multiply. So yeah, if you break it up into 2 steps, first determining the sign and then performing the operation, you should be fine. So this would be -224. Okay, here is our last example for today's video. We're going to take -6 and multiply it by -19. So since these are both the same sign, we're going to end up with a positive answer. So I'm going to put a little plus there, or you can leave it blank, whichever you prefer. But now I need to do 19 times 6. And again, you can do that any way you like. And you're going to end up with 114. So that means that's going to be your answer. Now, if I was going to take that 114 and divide it by -6, now I've got different signs. So I know my answer is going to be negative. And if I take 114 and divide it by 6, I end up with 19. So we're right back to kind of where we started with this fact family. So you can go forwards and backwards, but the rules for multiplying and dividing integers are the same. Same sign positive, different sign negative. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you in another video soon.